I got this awesome snake eating my green commit dots running in light and actually even dark mode. And I know that you want that too. And of course, I will show that to you. But imagine you're applying for a job at Google and your GitHub README page looks like that. No. There's no chance they will offer you a job. So you need to customize this a little. Like that, for example, where you have this clean images here. Or like me, for example, I have this nice snake, I have a text stack, and I have a banner on the top. But in this video, we will transform your GitHub profile README to the next level with 3 tools. Then I will show you how to get this cool snake animation. And in the end, I will give you one tip how to get the most out of the tools. Because without that, your page just looks randomly generated. So you don't want to miss that. Also, thank you very much for the topic suggestion under my last video. And let's get started with the first tool. So every tool has a different styling here. And we just go through them very quickly. So you get an overview of what is actually possible on the GitHub README page. So the first tool is GPRM. And the first thing we do is type in our username, click enter. Here you can type in some fun facts, some nice stuff about you. I'm currently studying. Then you can type next. Then you have this nice dashboard features like your total contributions or some GitHub stats or some most used language. So if you're a Python user, then you have 100% Python or 97%. For me, it's TypeScript actually. On the next section, you can add some social links. I let that blank now, but you can do that. Next, and we have the tech stuff or the tech side. So you can just click through what tool you are using and what you are proficient with, like that, and then you click next. Then you can specify some donation links. So maybe you have Buy Me a Coffee or PayPal, so people can send you some money. Usually they don't do that, but maybe they do. And the last thing is some additional stuff. So here you have like very cool GitHub leaderboard stuff or GitHub trophies. Then you have some contributor stats or maybe a random dev quote every day. You can just activate whatever you want here. Click next, and then you are presented with your GitHub README. And what you can do then is copy the code or download the Markdown file. So I will show you how to go on from here. But first, let's go to the second tool. The second tool is made a little bit more simpler, called GitHub Profile Generate. And looks a little bit like Shatsy and inspiration, but you get the point. You just write in your username, for example that. Hi, I'm Tobi. I am a passionate frontend developer, or let's say I'm a passionate full stack developer, of course. Then you can specify your programming language, and there's one thing here that is not included, and that is Next.Js under front-end development. And I'm pretty sad about that, but there's React, Svelte, the typical stuff. You can just specify whatever you are proficient with. So for example, like that. Then you can also specify social links. You can also add posts if you have a blog, for example. And then we have some add-ons. We just activate every one. And then you can also specify some support. And then you click generate profile and you got your GitHub README page. And what you can do then is to just say copy code or download Markdown, as well as with the GPRM tool. But how do you actually implement this now in your page? I mean, it's nice that you have the README now or the .md file, but this is not enough. You need to create a repository actually. So you go to repositories and then you say new repository and you create just a simple repository. It is important that this one is public and that you add a README file, and the repository name just needs to be your name. So for me, it would be Tobias Malfer. I'm sorry for the German wording here. I don't know how would you say that in English, like to Tobias Mayhover. I have no idea, but it's really mandatory that this has to have the same name as your username. Then you say, okay, public, add README file and create repository in the end. So I have that already done like that. And then inside of this repository, you need to specify a readme.md. If you click this checkbox, this is automatically done for you. And what you can do then is you can jump in here and make edits yourself in this type of editor. So you can just go in here, say copy code, go to yours and paste that in, and you're done. You can look at the preview and you see that's what we just generated a few seconds ago. The other possible way would be that you clone this repository actually. So you go into the repository, say code, clone, copy URL to clipboard for HTTPS. Then you go into your terminal. So we take our terminal and then you just say git clone and take what's copy pasted, and it's cloning the repository. So you can say code and then your name, and there you can see the README page, and of course can edit this here. Then you need to add, commit and push that to your repository, and you see the changes. So that's how we implement this in our GitHub. But I have a third tool for you, and the third tool is Profile README Generator. So Pretty simple naming here, but the cool thing about that is you have some templates here, so you can look at some nice animations. You already see the snake one here, and we will get to that point in a few seconds. But yeah, you can just play around here with some nice things like images, profile views, music. The cool thing is that this is more of an editor and not just like a multi-form page as the other two tools we saw before. So here you can really go through your technologies and say, okay, I want that, and then okay, let's jump back. How do I want that and that? The thing with the snake here is you cannot just copy that. The thing with the snake is a little bit more complex, and I really needed some time to get this working, but I will show that to you right now. Okay, finally it's time for the snake animation. I know you're just waiting for this one. There are some things you need to specify in your settings before. So you go into your settings and then you say actions, general, and here you need to allow all actions and reusable workflows. And here on the bottom, you need to say read and write permissions. Then you save this and you're good to go. But you need to specify this. Otherwise it will not really work and you get very frustrated. And from here we go to our actions. And GitHub Actions is nothing you need to know right here. It's not necessary to understand what's going on. I will just give you the code and you can copy and paste that in and it will work. So what you need is a YAML file. That is a file ending on .yml. So if you cloned your repository, you go in here and you have a folder named .github, and then you have a folder workflows inside of there, and then you create a file called snake.yaml or YML, and then you just paste code in there like that. It was bad formatted here, but I will give you the code. I think it's just the first or second link in the description, and you really just need to copy and paste this code here. This is now a GitHub action. And we save that in the snake.yaml file. I think you can name that whatever you want, but to be sure or to be on the safe side, just name it like me. And then you add this, commit this, and push this. And once you have done this, you will see here something called GitHub snake name if you go to actions. And on here, you will need to run the workflow. So you click run workflow, run workflow. Why is this necessary? This is necessary because whatever you see here, this is customized to your own contributions. So this is not enough when we just catch this from a CDN anywhere. No, we need to fetch this with our data, and that's what this GitHub action is doing. So this action fetches our contribution data and making the snake animation just for us. And I think every 12 hours it gets updated. And once this has run, this can take up to a few minutes. Then you see this green tick here. So let's wait for that now. So that is finished now. But yeah, when you go to your code now and you go to your README page, you will not see that because you need to still implement it. And that's what we will look at in the next step. So how to implement the snake animation. And for that, we go into our code and we go into the README. And then we have this few lines of code here. Zoom out a little bit. That's easier to read. So this is not just a simple image. And the reason of that is because we want to support light mode and dark mode. Because if we just implement light mode, and the user is using dark mode and is looking at that, then this looks just awful. And on this other side around, the same. So we need to specify, some logic in here. So if the color scheme is dark, use the dark snake. And if the color scheme is light, use the light snake. But where are these snakes now generated? So when the GitHub action has run, it will create a second branch called output. And on this output branch, you will see the GitHub snake dark SVG, for example. So this is exactly what we need. So that's why we specify that here in the code. You will, of course, find that also in the description to just copy and paste it. Of course, you need to change your username here. Okay, on that point, you could probably leave this video, but I would suggest you to go one step further with me because what we generated now is just generated. So there's no creativity, no innovation in there. So I will give you 3 tips now how to customize this even more. So one tip would be go and take the markdown files from the things we just generated here. So from all tools, just go into your editor, paste them in, and you can actually take a look at them here. And just customize this a little bit. So take one thing from one output, one thing from the other output, and just mix things up so it just don't look so generated. The second thing is design something. You see this banner on the top here, and I made this on my own. So you can see it like here. I did that with Figma, but you can do that with any other thing as well. You see I have here different versions of every design on my YouTube channel. And this, for example, my banner, I just took it and made some YouTube icons here, and then I just cut it. But you can do that with Paint or any other Photoshop software, whatever you want. But then you get this personal style. Remember what I showed you in the beginning? was that page here. And what he just did is, this is just an image, and this is in an image as well. But it doesn't look like image. It's not giving you the feeling of an image, but that's how you can customize this more, so it looks more like you and not like just generated. And the third thing is you can actually go for some fancy GIFs. So I think everybody knows this page Giphy.com, because what's possible on GitHub README pages is that you can, just implement GIFs inside of there. And this is very helpful because GIFs are just like giving the whole thing motion, and you can really do some cool stuff with that. Okay man, this video was a lot. Thank you for watching until here. If you're interested in some Tailwind animation stuff, watch my last video up here. Otherwise, you can just subscribe this channel, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.